Welcome to Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcolm and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed. Back for another week, y'all. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's fixing to be April.
It is. It is.
Almost Easter.
Miss Southern Shell's birthday was this week. Did you have a good birthday?
Sure.
Yeah. All of what, 29 years old?
43.
43. Man, that's a Richard Petty year. That's a good one.
Is it? Okay, I'll take it.
43 is a good number.
Getting up there. It's getting up there.
Is it?
I
Well,
try not
just
to-
know that I'm 5 ahead of you. So is it 4? I'm 4 ahead of you now.
Yeah. I catch
You always
you
catch me in March.
for a few months.
Yeah. Tyler, you doing all right, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Still not on camera. Still don't have glasses that are in
What?
functional shape, but I'm getting
Hey,
there.
we had an optometrist reach out to you here locally, right?
All right, guys. So we had this guy from Collierville that listens to the podcast. Shout out to that guy. I don't remember his first name. I would go look at it, but he reached out and said that we could trade him barbecue or we could trade him in-store credit, and he would give me glasses.
Man, that's better than insurance. I'm down. I think I got to looking yesterday. We were having one of our meetings, and I'm pretty sure everybody that works here wears glasses, maybe except for Mark.
Mark
And he
doesn't.
needs them.
Yeah.
He can't see.
Mikey doesn't.
Mike, yeah, Mikey doesn't, does he?
Yeah.
But all but 2 employees wears glasses. And because the guy did go on to say, he was like, maybe we can get everybody set up, but I don't think he realized how many people wear glasses in this
That's a
office.
lot. That's a lot of meat I'd have to cook. I'd do that for y'all though.
You've been wearing your glasses more.
I have. I wear contacts most of the time, but whenever the green stuff starts popping out of the trees, the trees start putting back on, pollen starts. I get allergies and my eyes go to watering and itching, and I take Zyrtec, but it doesn't, that stuff seems to fade out. So.
Yeah.
So I go to
See-
glasses. I try to give my eyes a break. I try to give them some relief. So I've been wearing my glasses a little more. And if you hadn't said something, I probably would have took them off if I'd have thought about it today. But
You
didn't even
can't
think
see.
about
You're
it.
blind.
yeah, I got what they call the stigmatisms. I got the eye-ism.
I just can't touch my eyes to wear contacts. Like,
I can't even.
I don't know if it's like a fear of it or what, but
Oh,
like,
you get used to that.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I would.
My problem is I forget to take them out at night. I get so used to them being in, and then after 2 or 3 days, I've got the kind that you're supposed to be able to sleep in or whatever. Of course, they tell you not to, but and they were, and I got used to wearing them. It's just taking them out every night. I sometimes forget.
Next weekend, want to remind everyone that we'll be in Benton, Arkansas at the Firedancer.
Yes.
Firedancer.
We're going to see the Firedancer shop. He has a barbecue supply shop. He's been open for several years.
Yeah, a
hasn't
couple years.
he? Our buddy Eric Lee, y'all know him as Firedancer. He's done a video with me.
Yeah, he did Competition Chicken.
Yeah,
But
his way on the which one was it? It was Jolene.
yeah, on the Jambo.
Yeah,
on
the
the
Jambo.
Jambo stick burner.
I need to roll her back out. I ain't fired her up in a while.
Here's,
She's related. She's just turned into a cat throne.
say Smokey the cat's gonna be very upset if you roll that bit out.
That's Pride Rock. That's where he observed his whole lair.
Which is the garage.
The garage,
Yeah. But we'll be in Benton.
Keeps the rats out though.
We'll be in Benton, Arkansas, April 8th from 12 to 3, 12 to 4.
Just hanging out, talking barbecue.
Yeah, doing a little meet and greet.
Yep.
This weekend we'll be at Hogs for the Cause,
If y'all are in New
In New
Orleans, y'all
Orleans.
got to go check out Hogs for the Cause.
or close to New Orleans.
We gave out. Blue Plate gave us some passes to do a little contest with. We had some winners from that, didn't we? Or a winner? Is that
Yeah.
the one?
Yeah, it was Chris McLean. Shout out to,
Right.
or Cody McLean, I believe. That sounds right. Cody McLean.
Good.
He won 2 tickets. It was like $200 value to go to Hogs for the Cause. I think y'all can just purchase 1-day passes. So if y'all are just looking to go for 1 day,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a lot of good food to try.
We'll be there on Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be there on Saturday. We got some other stuff we got to do, but definitely going to be hanging out with the Blue Plate folks. Look, I'm excited about it.
I'm
Excited to
excited.
try a bunch of mayonnaise.
I'm excited to try all the food that they cook.
What kind of dishes do you think, like, did you go read the rules on the, I know nothing
No,
about
no.
the blue plate
But you just want me to
contest.
rattle you off some recipes that need mayonnaise? Potato salad, coleslaw.
What do you think people are going to turn in?
Potato salad, coleslaw.
I'm thinking they're going to use mayonnaise in sauces.
Oh, yeah.
Like make some kind of creamy sauce and turn in something. Like, I could see something like that.
Like an
Made a
Alabama
sandwich.
white sauce or something.
Or, I mean, you know, you can,
Yeah.
mayonnaise is very versatile. You could creamy up just about anything.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese. I put it in my mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some other categories too. Am I going to get to judge those, or do you know?
I
Do
don't know.
y'all know the
I don't
details?
know. I know for sure you're judging the mayonnaise.
All I know is they said New Orleans, and I said there. And they said Hogs for the cause, been there. I was trying to figure out what year was it. I've cooked it twice.
One year you got second place.
Yeah, one year we got second, and next year we grand championed it.
Yeah.
We did it under. It was kind of a combined thing. The team name was Charcuterie, and we
Forgot about that.
it was me and Waylon, you, Danny Montgomery, Mark Lambert, and our buddy that had the team.
Yeah.
And some chefs. It was fun.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
You've got the vending element to that contest, which you don't get at a lot of other barbecue contests, but every team has to do something that is given away to the public.
Basically,
or sold to the public.
Yeah, you're trying to get tickets to raise money for the pediatric
Yeah.
brain cancer, which is the charity that the Hogs for the Cause is all about. And they've raised a ton of money and do a tremendous job. The teams help and everything. It's a great thing.
And these are chefs typically. Like the
A
food
lot
that
of them
they're
are.
coming
Hey,
up
there's
with.
a lot of barbecue cook. James Cruz is heading up a team. He's won it, I don't know how many times in a row. There's a bunch of good teams cooking down the Ubon. Our buddy Ubons, they're there every year cooking.
But the guys that are coming up with the dishes they're being served
Oh,
to the
yeah.
general public,
That stuff's usually chefy.
very good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
There's-
just go get a pulled pork sandwich
Yeah.
or a rib. No, there's all kinds of stuff.
It's sandwiches and stuff that you've never thought of or seen. It's really cool. That's what I'm excited about, going and getting some
It's New Orleans. It's a food
that.
city. What do you think of New Orleans?
food.
Is that what you
Booze
think
and
of?
food.
Booze and food. Just
I really don't know why we
two
don't
of the
live there.
finer things in life. I mean, sure, it's got its seedy elements, it's crime,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
everything else,
yeah.
like all big cities do. But I think of food and good times,
Yeah.
libations.
I've made some reservations while we're down
Yeah,
there.
are we going to? You gonna take me somewhere good?
I don't know. We're gonna try. I got a seafood restaurant, a steak restaurant, and a brunch on some reservations. So
Oh, you can't beat that. A New
Yeah.
Orleans brunch. That's what you do on Sunday in New Orleans. You brunch.
Isn't it really like dinner though? Because you've been up all night, and then that's kind of like you have
It's
that. and then go
more,
to bed.
it's more of a
it's a social thing.
around noon. It's like breakfast around noon. Noon
Yeah.
or 1.
Is that like a lot of beignets and stuff like that, or what kind of food?
Oh no, it's gonna be
Oh.
more like it's a mix. I would
Yeah.
say you're gonna have
Crawfish
your fried
omelets.
catfish.
Ah,
Yeah.
Benedicts, any kind of
Yeah.
Benedict you can think of. You're gonna have
Smoked
oysters
salmon.
smoked salmon
A lot of
with the cream cheese, the bagel.
a lot of mimosas.
Oh yeah,
Most places have, or a lot of places have, a good like jazz band playing.
That's right.
For a jazz brunch. That's where we're going to, a jazz brunch.
we're going to a jazz brunch.
Yeah.
awesome.
I can't wait. I love smooth jazz.
Do you have a nice hat to wear?
Yeah, I do. I'll break out one of my Colonel specials.
Yeah. So
Can I wear a hat? You gonna let me wear a hat with you?
Heck yeah.
Brunch. Oh yeah.
It's New Orleans brunch. You're supposed to be a little flamboyant. So
Some of the best dining experiences I've had has been in New Orleans. Like Emerald Chef's Table. I will remember that the rest of my life. If you ever get to go eat at Emerald's restaurant and get to sit in the chef's table in the kitchen, like they have one table over to the side, and it seats about, I don't know, 8 to 10 people maybe.
yeah, max.
Yeah.
It's a little crowded. I think we had 10. It was crowded.
It's awesome.
It was the best experience.
Like you don't get a menu. It's just the chef cooks for you that night as they're doing everything else. They'll bring over it was crazy stuff. It was unbelievable.
multiple courses.
One course, the one that I remember the most, they dumped like a big bowl, seafood, crawfish bowl on the table. Like brought a pot over, dumped it out on the table. And we're talking a nice dining table,
This
too.
is our fish course, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fish course. And then he brought out fried, like whole redfish and arranged them around the crawfish where it looked like they were jumping up out of the table into the crawfish pile. And it was just incredible.
Yeah.
I've never had it. And didn't they do fried chicken with it too?
Yeah.
So it was like redfish swimming around the crawfish that's all spread out on the table. Fried chicken on a cutting board in the middle and the crawfish with everything in it, the sausage, the potatoes, man, it was just unbelievable.
And you just kind of reached over there and pulled pieces of
Whatever you
off
wanted.
the fish. Yeah.
And then they cleaned that whole table and served another course. and then it's like for dessert, I don't even remember dessert.
I don't.
It was like 12 different desserts, just whatever desserts they had, they were serving.
Oh,
They
yeah.
brought all of them and set them on the table. It was, this went on for 4 or 5 hours. And the whole time you're having drinks during it, bottles of, whatever wine you're wanting. It was incredible.
So we're not doing that this time.
No, I've been there. I've been to that restaurant, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. It has never let me down.
Which one? Emeralds?
Yeah, it's always top notch.
So Memphis in May, it's finally that time.
It is. Excited about that too.
Yeah. The official meeting is this weekend. We're going to be out of town, but Mark's going to go.
It's like 2:30 on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We won't be back in time for that.
We've written the checks.
Man,
We've booked the hotel.
I'll tell you what, Memphis in May is expensive. Might have to go take out some kind of 30-day loan or something on that to pay for all that stuff.
It's steep.
The rentals was like 10 grand, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's steep.
Hmm.
That's tents. And you got to have tents. You got to have floor. You got to have.
Oh, yeah, you definitely got to
something.
have floor at Memphis in May. You never know. It's going to be a mud fest.
And they take you for it. Yeah, I keep thinking it's winter, but Memphis in May kind of kicks off summer for us. So
Yeah.
we're,
I remember the first Memphis in May I went to with y'all. It was like beautiful outside. It was like on the river. It was like slightly breezy and stuff. And then the following year was just really rainy. It was that last year was kind of rainy, and we had like the evacuation thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
You never know when you're going to get that in
but
Memphis.
last year, it was like miserable hot one day.
That's right. Yep.
And then it rained and we had tornado evacuations. And then,
It's bad.
A little bit of everything.
That's to be expected. You're in Memphis, and it's really not summer, it's spring still. So the weather changes, just hang out.
you consider it spring?
Yeah, I don't consider summer kicking off to Memorial Day. When do you consider summer?
When Memphis in May is over, because it's like the next weekend's Memorial Day, you know?
Yeah.
And that's usually when the kids get out of school. And
That's Memphis in May. That's when summer kicks off. When kids are out of school, Memorial Day weekend, pools open.
And it's kind of like once we get over that hump of Memphis in May, get over that hill.
We're having March go out like a line this week. We got April, and then it's less than 6 weeks to Memphis in May.
Mm-hmm. But next weekend is Easter.
It is. We'll be traveling.
Yeah.
Because we're going to Arkansas that Saturday. So
It's a Firedancer.
I'm not going to cook I'm not going to have to cook anything for Easter. I did do a ham recipe.
It's time to make those Easter dinner plans.
It is. So when y'all think of Easter, what did y'all have? Under
Ham.
Easter. That's what we always had a ham.
Maybe a pork loin or
Tyler, was that
something like
norm for y'all?
Yeah, ham. My dad does turkeys a lot, and then every single year it has to be deviled eggs. Like,
Oh yeah.
gotta have deviled
You
eggs.
gotta have deviled eggs for Easter.
Yeah.
That's where the blue plate mayo comes in. Can't have a deviled egg without blue plate.
Best mayo on the planet.
That's
Go get you some now.
So I probably asked y'all this before, but do y'all like traditionally, if you're just making a normal deviled egg that's like y'all's deviled egg, do you put dill in it?
No.
Okay.
Usually we're sweet relish
Yeah.
Sweet Russ.
or sweet pickles chopped up into relish.
So a pickle element goes into yours.
Yeah,
Okay.
But it is sweet. Yeah.
Mhm.
Gotcha. As I think
Definitely.
traditionally, like up north, especially, and this might not always be the case, but I'm pretty sure they just go savory with their deviled eggs. So like I grew up and we would have like bacon bits and paprika and that kind of stuff, but it's all savory. It's like mustard, horseradish goes in there. Like,
Horseradish.
yeah, like horseradish is almost like a main ingredient, and I feel like a lot of people around here don't do it.
No,
And
you
it's
never see that.
Super good.
I mean, you would down in New Orleans, like if it's Creole style deviled egg or
Yeah.
something like that.
yeah.
If I was gonna have something like that, I would definitely add some horseradish, or even to do like you know how you were talking about doing a rare beef
Yeah, that
style
would go with
that
it.
goes on top
Yeah,
of
yeah,
a deviled egg. I could see putting horseradish there, but
I think it just gives it like a little bite, and since it's only savory, like it just gives it a layer of flavor.
So what's the texture?
I mean, I guess it's a little grainy, right? Because it's
Well, you don't have the pickle relish. What is there, like celery or
Nope.
onion? Or
it's all cream.
just all cream. It's
Yeah.
mayonnaise, horseradish, mustard, some, like I said, some paprika, some salt, pepper. That's pretty much it. It's pretty. Top it with a jalapeno, bacon bits, anything like
On
that. if you
top.
wanted to,
yeah.
yeah. But that's,
No, I like the texture difference in the egg.
Yeah.
Like I want the stuffing to be. It's almost standalone, like a dip almost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just egg yolks, mayo, a little spicy mustard, and sweet relish, and maybe a little onion. That's about it.
See, I don't typically do the spicy mustard. I'll do a hot sauce, like a
Yeah.
splash of hot sauce, because
You got to put a little mustard. You have to put a touch of mustard in your deviled egg to me.
Yeah.
Just a touch.
What if it's yellow mustard?
You could use Dijon, whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
But it needs a touch. It needs a touch of mustard in it.
Do you think it needs a touch of sweetness too?
Yeah, that's where the sweet pickle relish comes in.
Yeah.
I don't add sugar usually to deviled eggs.
No.
I don't-
But I do a sweet and savory
I
because
do
I'll use
like green
AB.
onions chopped up in it. I do like a little dill, like sprinkled over it. I was thinking the way you make deviled eggs. I was trying to think of what all you do to them. 'Cause you make better.
So you
deviled
do
eggs.
put dill on top?
I mean, I have. I like them. I like it on there.
Yeah.
This is when I first moved down here. Everybody was doing it. It was like culture shocking, and I was like,
What?
"What is this? This is so weird. Why do y'all put pickles?" I think I've come around to it a little bit since, but it's
Have you ever
Yeah.
had them without it?
What?
Deviled eggs without pickle relish? Or
No.
pickles? I never have either.
That's just an egg.
I guess we have to do a deviled egg contest at the shop.
We were
Do you-
going to. It got canceled for some reason.
Yeah, that would have been a good one to do around Easter.
That'd be tough for the person judging.
Yeah,
Man, can you imagine having to eat 12 deviled eggs?
you all have to leave
Cool.
immediately after.
Yeah. We don't.
I've
want
had
sticking around.
some great deviled eggs.
I guess you could cut them in half and do like a. Then you'd only have to eat technically 6, but
Yeah. Have y'all ever had like a deep fried deviled egg that you see on Instagram?
I've seen them.
yeah, I've seen that. I haven't.
I could get down with that. I think it's like panko crusted egg, and then probably just flash fry. I imagine it wouldn't take very long. And then the filling on the inside, I've seen like buffalo chicken and all kinds of stuff. Sounds really good.
So, are they taking a whole egg, battering it and frying it, and then cutting it in half and stuffing it, or is it stuffed and then somehow coated and fried?
No, I think you hard boil it, then you get the yolk out, and then you're just panko crusting the whites.
The half.
The
The
half,
half, yeah, and then deep fry.
and then you come back. That's pretty good right there.
It's just the vessel that's deep fried. And
I need to do that.
I'd definitely try that. And then using non-traditional stuffings.
yeah.
I can see that
I'll
being
try that.
really good.
What's the best deviled egg you've ever had?
That's what I was thinking about asking you. I'm trying to think. Right, I mean, top of my head right now, it's Porch and Parlor's Wagyu deviled egg, where they tableside, they take thin strips of Wagyu steak and they bring out this hot like lava rock, lay the meat on it right at your table, and sprinkle it with a little, what was it, truffled salt,
Something, yeah.
and they put it across the deviled egg and then put a little bit of roe or something on it, or caviar. That's a fancy deviled egg.
It was really good too.
And oh man, it went so good to get.
They only
Actually,
give
the
you
salt. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The salt was on the side, and you sprinkled the little truffled smoked salt. Wasn't that what it was? You looking it up?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's still on the menu.
I don't know if I've ever had a deviled egg like at a restaurant before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On a lot of the menus I was looking at in New Orleans, a lot of deviled eggs.
That's an
Yeah,
appetizer.
yeah,
Cool.
a normal appetizer.
Well, yeah, they'll do them with a fried oyster, or I've had them with fried crawfish tails or shrimp.
It must be a special because it's not on their typical menu.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Sounds good.
so let's talk about ham.
What do you want to know? I'm your ham man.
So,
It was great with blue plate mayonnaise.
so where does a ham come from on the pig?
It is the rear hindquarter. That's the ham. It's not. I mean, is it the butt? Yeah, technically, I guess it's the butt.
It's the haunch.
Yeah, it's the rear haunch of a hog. And what makes it like the ham, like people serve for Easter, is that it's been smoked or it's been cured. Not necessarily smoked all the time, but more than likely, if it's a U.S. ham, it's been smoked.
So is the deli ham, has it been, I know it's been cured, but like, has it been smoked too? Or it depends on what deli ham you get?
Yeah, like if you're talking like shaved, boiled ham, that probably hasn't been smoked. You know, that's some processed stuff. But most of the time, like if you go get, say, some Black Forest ham or something like that from the deli that you have them pull out and slice, a lot of times it's a smoked ham.
What makes it Black Forest? I've always seen that, but I don't know.
I don't know what they rub that down with to give it. It's almost like I don't know. It's like an ash or something. I don't know. They give it that little black crust on the outside. I don't know what makes it that.
I feel like the meat itself is always darker too. Like on the inside, it seems.
It gets a heavy cure, and I'm sure they smoke it. I like Black Forest ham. It's good. When I think of that, I mean, I'm thinking deli ham, but most of the time when we're talking ham, I'm talking about the kind that you would buy and serve at Christmas, at Easter, at holidays, something like that. It's not just something you go to deli and have them sliced for you. So, but we start, like most supermarkets, they're going to sell, sometimes you'll find whole hams, which is the shank and the butt portion of the ham. And
how do you tell what's the difference between shank and butt?
So the shank, just think of the shank portion, it would be from his knee down to his trotter.
Okay.
That would be the shank. So it's got that one big bone in it.
Yep.
Now the
and that
butt
has
portion,
that traditional
look. When you look at it, if you've seen ham pictures where you can see the slice and the little circle bone that's right, that's the leg bone.
Like the green eggs and ham picture. Yeah.
And they slice it and it kind of rolls over. Traditional, that's a shank ham. It's really a half ham shank portion that's been fully smoked and cured, and it's ready to go home. And I guess it would be safe to eat out of the package, really, because it's fully cooked. But most of the time, people put them in the oven, roast them. You're warming it up. You're trying to keep it moist. I've seen people put them in like these roasting bags or big roasters with the lid.
Yeah.
They'll baste them, glaze them. You know, that's where that old pineapple and cherries and all that come up. That, you know, like your grandma would serve or you'd see in a magazine. I think like the Norman Rockwell painting or any of these things where you see.
Yeah. I think a
Easter spread.
1970s advertisement.
I think, there was one that was like a cookbook that was like a microwave cookbook. And it always had this like Better Homes and Gardening cooking in the microwave. And there's this lady holding this big ham that she cooked in the microwave, I guess.
Was it cherries and
the cherries and pineapple. She didn't cook that in a General Electric microwave.
You have a recipe where you smoked them on. You smoked on the pineapples and cherries.
It's good. I mean,
it worked really well.
It works really good. Makes a good glaze on it. But then you also have that shank portion of the ham, which is the upper portion. That would be the butt of a hog. And
that's actual cheek.
My mom prefers that cut. You don't get. There's a lot of meat on both of them, but when you cut the bone out, you end up with a lot more meat around that shank bone. And if you're making a big pot of beans or greens or some kind of vegetable that you want to add ham flavor with, that's what my mom does with them. She says, I get way more meat and that bone gives it more flavor than just that shank bone. I think you get probably, I don't know which one yields more. Maybe the shank yields a little more. I don't really know. Never like measured it out.
Yeah.
Like when I cut it off the bone. I like the shank because when you slice it, you're kind of slicing a top half and then a bottom, you flip it over and slice the bottom half, and you get a lot of meat around it too. So it's really easy to take a shank ham off the bone because there's a natural seam in that ham. And when you follow it and go to the bone, that meat just kind of separates off of it, and then you can slice it up real easy.
When they spiralize hams, are they doing both shank and butt?
So you can get both spiral. That's another one in your grocery store. So you're going to see a whole ham. You're going to see half hams, which was going to be a shank or a butt portion, and you're going to see those unsliced. And then you're going to see spiral hams, and they'll be a shank or a butt portion, spiral cut. So that's usually what we see. And then they've got the processed hams, the little chunks and the little ones that look like loaves and all that.
Have you ever seen those that they have the pop top?
A canned
Like a
ham?
canned
Yeah.
ham.
It's my dad's favorite.
Really?
Is it like a process?
So that's just a bowl. I would call that a boiled in a canned ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been, they probably pumped no telling how much curing that stuff. Formed it in that loaf and slapped it in that sardine can, and you peel it off. And
Very similar to Spam. Pretty
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would imagine.
oh, it's not even, I doubt it's even like, yeah, it's got to be glued all together or something.
yeah.
It's just various parts of pig that they made this ham loaf out of. But you know, I bet you if you look at those, they're called ham loaf.
Probably.
Not, you
yeah.
know. I would avoid
Probably.
those.
product of ham.
Yeah, I might need to do a video, TikTok on those. Well, I don't know. They might ban everybody from TikTok, so maybe I don't.
This
what-
one's called premium ham.
Premium hand.
Premium canned ham,
Oh.
ready to eat, fully cooked.
I'm sure it is.
I think it depends on the size of the can too, because they have ones that are like kind of bigger.
Yeah.
I
And
promise you it's been processed, Tyler.
no, I know. But then they have some that are in, and those are usually in the cold section. But then you can go to the dry section, and they also have processed ham on that section. That's the
Yeah.
stuff that's got to be like good for your nuclear bunker. Good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got a 30-year shelf life.
I kind of want to try it just to see. I've never
Canned
tried
ham?
it. Yeah, I've never
There
tried
you go. We'll make you a canned ham and blue plate sandwich
it. I bet it'd be pretty
with like
good.
Kraft singles.
Does it taste like a hot dog?
Honestly, I don't know if I've ever tried it.
It's like it's just really salty ham. That's the only way
Yeah.
I can really. And I've never just had like a piece of it, but I've been able to put it like he'll make it like in fried rice or something like that.
That seems
Kinda-
like a good application for it. Yeah.
Like adding
Huh.
it to something like that, make it easier.
You don't just slice it off and make a sandwich.
No, he probably would though. He would. I wouldn't put it past him, but no, I have never done that.
Got to be good for your blood pressure.
So you did a smoked ham, Easter smoked
Yeah.
ham recipe this week, and the one you did was not a spiral. We've
No, it
done
was
spirals. And,
yeah, it was a
uh,
fully cooked smoked shank portion half ham. That's what I started with. And with those, they're really, you know, honestly think they taste a little better than the spiral
I was gonna
hams
say that.
because you don't lose near as much moisture in them.
They seem to have more fat
They're-
content
they're
there,
fat.
which gave it more flavor. I thought.
It was really good. That was just a Walmart ham.
Yeah. How much
It was-
did you pay for that? It's a pretty big
It
ham.
was $1.99. I think it was about, so it was probably about $20, 18, $20,
Yeah.
something like that. It was on sale, $1.99 a pound.
Yeah. And you could feed a lot of people. A lot
Oh
of people.
man, it made 3 gallon Ziploc bags full of meat when we cut it all up. I mean, it was a lot.
And you kind of left me with the job of getting the rest off the bone. And there's I probably could have gotten
What'd you
at
do with
least
that bone?
threw it away.
Oh man,
I probably could have gotten another handful or two of
Yeah.
meat off there if I really would have
bone's
tried.
the best part. Use it for something else.
You hadn't asked about that bone.
I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it.
But yeah, I did think it was a lot juicier, a lot tastier.
It was good. It was really good. I mean, so the thing with those, they have like a layer of fat on them, and sometimes they'll leave a little bit of the skin on them. So I always score those hams. Kind of helps you with the presentation, but what it does is you make score marks on the outside of it, and those score marks open up after you're kind of reheating or re-smoking it because it's already fully cooked. And then as they do, it lets more flavor in, and you can get like when you glaze it at the end, it gets all down in all those cracks and crevices, and it just makes it look good. You get some more flavor in it. I like it.
It makes little crunchy bits on the outside.
Yes, it does. So I do like a diamond pattern, which and I usually don't do it.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, I just lay it on the side that I know is going to be up, the presentation side, and I just take a knife and go in about maybe 1/4 of an inch, and just kind of start cutting slits, about 3/4 to an inch apart, spread them out all the way across the ham, and then turn it and go the opposite direction, same thing. And then as those cooks, it makes little square or little diamond shapes, and they open up. But I seasoned that one with some Dijon mustard, a little barbecue rub, just to give it some, pretty appearance
That
on the
was good.
outside. That's
Yeah.
it. Kept it simple.
But
Went
you
on the
couldn't.
pit.
It didn't taste like a barbecue flavor.
No, you didn't get that at all. If you used like the barbecue rub, which is my rub, it's kind of has a sweet tone to it. It's a competition rub, so it's sweet. It's got some saltiness, but it's not overly salty. Some spice, but it's not super spicy. So it's just real well balanced, like competition style rub, and it works great on ham. It gives it a pretty color, but you also get some of that flavor and some of that sweetness that you want that you usually think ham has too. And those little crunchy parts were delicious on it.
Yeah.
They looked really good. While I was watching it, while I was editing this video, I was like, those I bet were awesome.
So I cooked it on a pellet grill. I cooked it on my Grilla pellet grill. And you could do it on any grill. I usually run it about 275, and you're just trying to warm it up to 140 internal. Usually with a ham that size, it's about 3.5 hours is all it takes. And I used to probe them and stuff, but now I know how long it takes. The only thing I'll say, a pellet grill works great for it because it's not putting too much smoke out at 275. And you got to think, these hams have already been smoked. So we're like double smoking them. And so if you put it on a stick burner and you're running it and putting the wood to it, really.
Or drum. Yeah,
or drum, something that really gives it a lot of smoke flavor, you can easily over smoke one. And you don't want to do that because, I like my ham to have a smoked flavor, but I don't want it to be like so smoky it's, overpowering the meat.
Yeah.
And that's why I do it. That's why you often see me do them on a pellet grill or either on my old hickory where I can, run it with just coals or something where I'm not having to add too much wood. If I was going to do it on a stick burner, I probably wouldn't run any wood at all. I would just make me a bed of lump coals and keep that rolling. That way I don't add too much smoke.
Yeah.
And then you glaze them at the end.
So, what did you use to glaze this time? Do you remember?
I mixed up. I used apple cider that I bought at the grocery store, brown sugar and honey.
When you say apple cider, you're not talking vinegar. You're talking
no,
apple
cider.
Specific cider, yeah.
Sipping cider. But I used that. You could have used apple juice. I just like apple cider is like a spiced apple juice.
The cinnamony?
Yeah, it has all those elements of it. And so I thought that would go great with the ham. And I used a little bit of brown sugar and a little bit of honey. And it doesn't take much cider. It just kind of splashed it in there until I get the right consistency. I'm trying to get it to where I can brush it on really easy with like a basting brush. So I don't want it like thin like a mop or something like that. And I don't want it thick like heavy syrup. It's kind of in between there. So when you're stirring it up, just splash the cider in there until you get it to where when you lift up your brush, you can see it kind of dripping off of it. That's perfect. And then I just brush it all on the outside. And I do that after about 2.5 hours. That last 30 to 60 minutes of the cook is when I want to get that glaze on there. So it'll have time to sit. It'll have time to kind of caramelize a little bit, but it won't burn because, it's a lot of sugar. So when you went too long with that glaze, it will burn on you.
It'll get too dark.
That's where you got to watch your heat too. You can kind of be letting the grill taper down a little bit. On a pellet grill, it's not bad. I do put it on a little full line pan on a rack. That way the moisture that drips down, it don't just get all over my grill. It kind of keeps it clean, makes it easier to do. That's just something I do.
Makes it easier to pull that ham off without.
Makes it easier to move the ham. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of moisture it cooks down. And it's going to catch it. But a lot of times what I'll do is whatever glaze has dripped down in that pan, like I'll go back and after 15, 20 minutes, brush that back over the ham. Just keep kind of reglazing it as it's sitting there cooking that last part of the cook. And it makes it so pretty.
It does.
When you bring that thing out and you set it on the cutting board or set it on your table, and then, you need to let it rest 10, 15 minutes before you carve it up.
I was going to ask you that. Is that all the rest?
Yeah, that's all it needs.
What if you needed to do a longer rest? Let's say you're driving it an hour away.
I'd cover it up, foil it, drop it down in the cooler and hold it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. That ham's going to, you got to think they cured it, so it's going to last a long time.
Yeah.
So even if it drops down, I would say you bring it up to 140 to serve it. You're really, according to food safety, you have like 4 hours before it needs to either be reheated back to above 140 or it needs to be chilled immediately down to below 40. So you need to get it in some refrigeration or a freezer or something.
But if you dropped it in a dry cooler.
Yeah. I wouldn't drop it in a dry cooler and leave it like 8 hours and then serve it. But, to go drive to grandma's house, that's fine, If you're going to need longer than that, you need to replan when you're going to heat it up. But you could always, throw it back in the oven, bring it back up to temp. It's not going to take too long.
And
I
don't eat mine eating ham room temperature. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like super hot.
Oh, that's right. Like when you look at the directions when you buy, say, you order a honey baked ham, spend all that money on one. When you get them, it says you can slice it and enjoy it right then. you don't even have to heat it up.
Yeah.
It's ready to go. But better experience is to pop that dude in the oven or on the smoker and heat it up, or cook a spiral ham that style.
And you have a lot of different glaze recipes, really.
Oh yeah,
You've done maple.
You can do all kinds of stuff with the glaze. You can go fruity. You can go just like a honey glaze. You can add. I've done one where it was like a bourbon glazed ham. That was really good. Pecan bourbon glaze. That was on a carving ham. And all that is a boneless ham.
How did they get a bonus ham? Just take the top part of a shank or something?
Usually, it's not the whole ham. It's like they cut. So you know how I take the ham and I'll cut the bone and cut the meat off the bone?
Yeah.
And lay that meat out to slice. It's that meat that they've just smoked like that. So they've went down and cut that top roast off the ham all the way down the leg. So it makes this wider, kind of flatter ham. And then they'll cure it and smoke it, package it up. And then when you get it, it's going to the carving board, and it makes like the slice of those is kind of more akin to a brisket slice because it's flatter and wider.
Yeah.
And so it's not, you have to skew your knife a little bit to get them pretty ham slices.
Looks like the state of Virginia.
Yeah, kind of. But like if the ham I cooked gives you the real pretty slices because you get that big, looks like what you think a ham slice should look like. Cover your plate up like slice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the green eggs and ham.
Yeah, exactly.
So that one, the pecan bourbon pralini glaze, that was a really good one.
It's been a while since I've done that.
Mm-hmm. So, but the carving ham is not like a pit ham it's not a processed type.
Yeah. Now, when you talk pit hams, that's a different one too. So that's more of a processed one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's shaped. They have, it's like, I guess you could say football shape kind of. They sell those too, but they're more processed. They've still been smoked and cured, and it's a whole muscle. But I guess what they do is they take it and they cram it down in a jet net to where it'll hold its shape, and then they smoke it. And then when they sell it, that's why it has those funny looking lines and grooves and stuff in it. That's how they've done it.
A lot of people cook lamb for Easter.
Yeah, lamb's one I think of sometimes. We never had it at my house.
Yeah.
But
that was 4th of July at my house.
really,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like roasted lamb.
No.
A lot of people do like a roasted leg of lamb or rack of lamb for Easter.
I'd get behind the rack of lamb. I don't know if it's just me or what, but a lot of times when I try the leg of lamb, it's a little more dry, like the boneless leg of lamb roast.
I've cooked them before. I'm just not crazy about it.
Yeah.
Do you guys like gyros?
I love them.
Yeah.
So that's a better application for me for lamb.
Yeah.
For especially like that leg of lamb style.
Because like you said, it's kind of dry by itself. Once you add like tzatziki sauce and stuff like that,
Yeah.
a lot better.
A lot of times those things have been mixed with like, it'll be lamb and beef or something, and they just like thinly slice it or form it like, and then stack it up on that spit and roast it. So it does have a little bit tendency to be drier.
Yeah.
But like a rack of lamb chops,
I want those rare.
I'll take that.
I like the little bitty cut up like porterhouse lamb chops.
So where does that come from? So you've
Same loin.
Same loin.
It's just back further to where it's got the inner loin. Just think of a porterhouse steak.
Okay.
It's got the strip on one side and the fillet on the other. That's what you're getting. You're getting the loin, which is the strip loin, and then you're getting the fillet or the inner tenderloin on the opposite side of that bone. So it makes that little bitty T. So it's like a little baby lamb
It
T-bone.
does look like a little T-bone.
But man, you don't have to cook them very long, so you can season them, marinate them, do whatever you do. Build you a fire, just open fire. I mean, a Weber grill works great for it. And then throw those dudes on there, and then just a couple of minutes, they're ready to flip, and a couple of minutes, they're done. And that's some of the best bites off that little T-bone. Now, you need to eat about 6 or 7 of them. But,
They are.
man, they're good.
They're about a 3-bite.
Yeah, a little piece. It's like 2 off one side, 1 off the other. But they melt in your mouth. Have you ever had those, Tyler?
Nope.
Oh, man, you got to have those.
Mark used to do one where he would marinate it. He turned it in for an exotic. For one contest, but he'd marinate it and grill it really hot and fast, and it was really good.
Like little T-bone nuggets.
That's what it is. You can find them. They're kind of expensive at Kroger. Sam's, you can get a pack of them, very reasonable.
I didn't even know Kroger sold them.
Yeah, they do, but they'll sell them like a 4-pack, and they're like $12. So it's like, dang, each little bite's $3. It's kind of high.
You also got the Easter brisket.
Yeah, A lot of people cook a brisket for Easter.
That's my thing.
We never
Your
had that
go-to?
at our house.
Yeah.
It was always ham, or that was pretty much it. Maybe pork loin,
That's
but
what we would have
yeah.
pork loin too. I saw that the butcher shop has Easter brisket. He was calling them Easter brisket on sale now. They're Wagyu A9s, $9.99 a pound.
Wow, really?
Yeah, 14 to 18 pounds is average weight.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Calling him after this
Man.
podcast.
he calls it a non-competition sort.
Yeah. Well, they have different specs for the competition. Those briskets usually run about $15 a pound, but they're wanting even flat, certain thickness all the way across. The other ones, when you get a case of briskets, you don't know what you're getting. You got to sort through them. So Kevin does a great job of sorting through his briskets, and he'll say, okay, well, maybe these two out of this case will make a competition spec. These other three are fine briskets, just as good at grade and everything. They just might be oddly shaped. That's your Easter brisket.
Yeah. Okay.
Or that's just your cooking brisket. And he can sell those a little bit cheaper because he knows, it's not up to competition standards.
So what are competition standards? You want it to be?
I mean, I want a thick, even flat.
Okay.
I don't really care about the point end, but I want my flat, to be thick all the way across, because there's nothing worse than getting a brisket where it just dives off and it goes, it's super flat or super thin on one side. So it makes when you slice it, it's high on one side, tapered off on the other. It doesn't look as good in the box, doesn't cook as even.
So it's
Sometimes
more
they might have a bigger fat grain that runs through the middle of them, or, it's just, there's different things you look for that you want to get. It's still not guaranteed, though, because you're looking through cryovac. It's not like you open it up and really inspect each one. So it's a guess, but a lot of times I guess Kevin's done it enough where he can kind of tell this one makes a cut. This one needs to be sold as an Easter brisket.
So a non-competition pick, you'd cook for feeding family all day.
Oh, yeah, all day long. Heck, I've cooked some of those non-comps for comps.
Yeah.
I mean, because you don't know that they're just as good. It's just there's a chance you might not want to use it. It might not be up to some of the best brisket cooks in the country. For me, I'm okay with it.
Easter sides. I've got an Easter side that I do. It's a brown butter carrot.
Those are delicious.
And every time I do them, I
How
get
do you
asked
do
for the
those?
questions. It's really easy. I just brown the butter, which you just kind of set your butter, which if you've never browned butter, get you a stick of butter, put it in a pot, put it on your stove, swirl it until it smells nutty and delicious. Let it cool, and you can do anything with it.
Fancy butter or what kind of butter?
Regular butter. The fancier the butter doesn't brown as well.
Like Great Value?
Great Value works perfect.
Salted or unsalted?
I like salted, but you could do either one. It takes away the milk fats. Is that what it does? The brown butter?
I think
When
it
you
cooks
brown
off the water off of it.
Cooks off the water, and it
Yeah.
concentrates.
It does
the flavor.
separate.
It gives it a nuttiness. It gives it a more savoriness, or more. It intensifies the richness. But then I just throw my carrots in a crock pot with turbinado sugar, a little salt, and that brown butter, and let them cook. That's it.
So you take whole carrots, peel them, and just chop them up?
I ain't messing with them little baby carrots. Do you think they taste different? Baby carrots taste different than the carrots I
never thought
peel
about
and
that
cut.
till you told me. Like, those are carrot rejects. The ones that look like perfect little tubes
Yes.
of carrot, and they come in a bag, and you see them on vegetable trays and stuff. Those are shaped carrots, like, right?
Yes, they've taken reject big carrots and turned them into
To
baby
that,
carrots.
yeah.
But to me, they just don't have the same flavor.
I
They're not
like
as
the ones.
flavorful.
I like the ones where you peel them and then you cut them up yourself. And yeah, they're odd shaped, but they look really good.
Yeah. And then I had deviled eggs on the list.
Oh, dressing. What about dressing? We always had dressing for Easter.
We did too.
And it would be not turkey and dressing. It would be chicken and dressing.
Yeah, chicken and dressing.
Yeah. With the gravy. That was a standard.
I guess mashed potatoes, maybe.
No, see, I'm not a
Not-
We would have mashed potatoes.
really
Yeah.
for Easter.
mac and cheese. You gotta have the mac and cheese.
Done deal.
Yep.
Usually broccoli salad.
Yeah, that's when you bring out the salads.
Yeah, because it's springtime,
Yeah.
right?
Butter beans.
Yeah. That's one.
So I googled what's the difference between butter beans and lima beans. Do you know?
No.
They're exactly the same thing.
It's
It's just a name thing. Typically, if you're in the South or in the UK, they're called butter beans.
Everywhere else, they're lima beans. Well, my favorite are the baby Fort Hook llamas, or whatever is what they're called from Kroger.
So they're baby lima beans.
They are baby llama beans. Have you ever cooked? You've cooked those.
Yeah.
They are so good. But you got to get the baby, and I don't know what the Fort Hook means, but that's what they say.
Something strawberry for dessert.
Oh, yeah.
Like a strawberry.
The trifle thing. Trifling.
It's almost like a strawberry shortcake.
Yeah.
A trifling trifle.
I don't know how you say it. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a trifle, I think.
I've just heard of trifling women. Does that mean they know how to make desserts?
Exactly. They know how to make the layered desserts and the pretty dishes.
Have you had, I know you've had that, hadn't you, Tyler, where they take like angel food cake and then whipped cream and cream cheese and mix that up and layer it and put strawberries and they just keep layering it?
Nope, don't believe I have.
Oh,
Really?
Mm-mm. Sounds kind of like, I mean, it sounds like if you're using angel food cake, it sounds like it would taste very similar to just like strawberry shortcake
It
or
is.
something.
It's
It
just
is.
layered strawberry shortcake.
fancified and a little more delicious.
Oh, it's better than strawberry shortcake. I hate those with the little glaze they put on them and stuff, little jelly glaze. That's not good.
You can make your own strawberry reduction.
Yeah, that's what we
We
usually.
usually had carrot cake too.
Yeah.
That was always a
Yep.
Easter tradition to have a carrot cake with the cream cheese icing.
That's like the staple in my house. That's what we make. So
Somebody had to have corn. Always had to have corn.
Corn on the cob, corn.
Usually it was just corn. Like corn with butter. That was it. Bowl of corn.
what about potatoes?
Y'all never had just a bowl of corn like as a side?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the time. Have y'all ever had like potato salad for Easter?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big thing in my house too. Is that baked beans?
Trying to think.
A lot of barbecue stuff for some reason.
Yeah,
See,
we didn't
we-
do the baked beans, but
We only had
lots of
potatoes.
salads.
Yeah, we only had potato salad with like barbecue or 4th of July or something like that. We never had it with Easter.
that was like one of the one dishes my mom would do
She
pretty
was-
good on. She's
She's bringing fruit salad and potato salad.
yeah. What's the best Easter candy?
Oh, there's no beating it. The Reese's eggs.
Yeah,
Peep.
Hands down.
Peeps.
Are you a Peeps man?
Nasty old
God.
marshmallows.
I swear they just keep putting out the same ones from year to year. Nobody, those are the
Nobody's
worst.
buying
No, the only thing worse than Peeps is when somebody would give you those eggs and you'd think it was a chocolate egg, but it had the Peep stuff inside the egg.
Surprise.
So it's like some bad chocolate coated marshmallow stuff. I was like, oh, these are freaking horrible.
I just grew up eating them. I
The
think it's
black
kind of like
jellies.
candy corn, you know? That's not a lot of
Peeps.
people really like it, but
Oh, you always got a sleeve of Peeps.
Candy
but
corn's pretty good, but
I
we'll
like
eat that for Easter.
I saw a
Yeah.
recipe for a peep s'more on TikTok last night, and I was like, I am all for that. Like, it just sounds so
with the
good to me.
chocolate.
It was with a Reese's egg and a peep.
Now
melted
you're
on
onto
top
something.
of a graham cracker.
S'more with the Reese's egg.
That sounded delicious.
What about the Cadbury eggs? Do y'all like those?
I do. I like the
Never had
Cadbury eggs.
They're a little much for me.
It's a lot. Yeah,
It's a load.
it is.
Is it like the stuff with the chocolate with the filling inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
it's
creeps me
real,
out because
real
it has the yellow stuff in it, or it's supposed to emulate like the yolk of the egg. It's
Yeah.
like I don't need to see that. Can you just put peanut butter in it? I'd like to have a Cadbury egg filled with the like Reese's peanut butter.
No, I'm with you. I used to think that was the best way to eat Reese's was the egg. And back in the day, you only got them at Easter. Now they do pumpkins and
Christmas trees.
footballs and
Yeah.
Christmas trees. Yeah.
The egg's the appropriate shape. It's the
agree.
best out of the pumpkins or the Christmas trees or whatever. The egg is the best.
It's the right shape. You get
Yeah.
the right thickness throughout.
It's not too much chocolate all around it.
There's no.
It's bad. You know you're a fat guy when you think about the right consistency of a Reese's egg. If that's not fat guy talk, I don't know what is.
Well, the Christmas trees has too many angles and the chocolate pools and.
And the pumpkin's just too much peanut butter in it. So the egg is just the appropriate shape.
Similar conversation, same idea. Did y'all see Mark's post about Oreos last night?
He got a fat boy post. Mark's coming around this double stuffed, double Oreoist or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's the most Oreo.
And he didn't even bring them in. How you gonna make a post like that and not bring that in and let the people work try it? It looks like I don't know.
It's 2 cookies, and then it's got cream filling. It's got the most cream filling of any Oreo you can actually buy.
I'm all aboard that.
But it looked like it had sprinkles in the cream filling.
Yeah, it was cookies and cream filling. It wasn't just the normal. And that's where it kind of lost me because I just love the normal stuffing. But
Call me weird, but I like the vanilla Oreos the best. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, me too. The Hydrox ones.
Yeah.
Is that the ones that are like white?
Yeah.
I don't think
they're the best.
Maybe off-brand, but I don't know if I ever just had Oreos brand on that.
Oh, really?
They used to they were making them for a while, the vanilla
They still have
cookie.
Yeah. That's my favorite.
Oreos have gotten wild here lately. There are all kinds of flavors. And
they had Swedish fish Oreos one time.
Did you try them?
Yeah, they were so nasty. So nasty.
Ooh.
Coffee flavored Oreos were good, though. That was one they did recently, too.
I don't know why they got to mess with a good thing.
I think all companies are doing it these days. There's like Doritos that are crazy flavors.
Yeah.
And
Pepsi has the Peeps soda now.
I was going to say that earlier.
How do you think that is?
I want to try it.
Michael said it was gross.
Really?
I got him one. Yeah.
Ooh. I might take his word for it because he has good taste in Mountain Dew. So
You've been drinking the strawberries and cream Dr. Peppers.
I have. They have the 0 sugar, and it's not bad.
It tastes like a Faygo to me.
Kind of does, doesn't it? Like strawberry Faygo?
Yeah.
it tastes like the Lifesaver Cream Saver candies to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if y'all ever had those, but really good.
Have you ever received an animal as part of your Easter basket when you were a kid?
Alive? Or
Yeah.
stuffed?
No.
Yeah, no.
Like a rabbit or a chicken or...
Heck no. My parents didn't like us having pets because it meant they had pets.
Yeah.
I remember we did buy, and I don't know, there was a lady like down the street from us selling rabbits. And we had asked to get one, and they were like, my mom was like, no, you don't need no stinking rabbit. You know, I'm not taking care of a rabbit. What are you going to do with the rabbit? And so me and Waylon snuck down the street. We were kids. And we told that lady we want to buy 2 rabbits, and they were like $2. It was dirt cheap for a rabbit. I don't even know. Rabbit business is lucrative. You sell a rabbit to anybody for $2. And I don't know if people were buying them to eat, buying them as pets or what, but it was around Easter. The only thing we had to put it in was like an Atari box. So we toted this Atari box down there, got that lady to throw 2 rabbits in there, and we took them back to the house. And we was hiding these rabbits at the house, so my mom and dad wouldn't know.
Where were you hiding them at? Your bedroom?
Yeah, it's where it started, but then somehow they got out.
Imagine
But so you just don't go get a rabbit. They're not tame and lovable.
No.
We had picked these things up, and them things had clawed us from our neck all the way down our torso and all up and down your arms. And all they did was kick. That's all these little rabbits would do. And so I would have one and Waylon have one. You'd be trying to hold it and wrestle on these little rabbits, and they got loose and got down running down the house. Oh, it was horrible. My mom made us put them back in the Atari box and take them back to that lady.
Fun fact, that Atari box is now worth $150.
Probably so.
I just was like thinking about this.
Just the box?
Yeah, just the box.
Wow.
$150.
Well, it was a rabbit cage for us.
Has
We
a
didn't
little
have any
thing in it
rabbit
now.
stuff. We had no rabbit tools. We didn't have any rabbit cages.
tools.
We didn't have anything for rabbit. No rabbit food. No, we had some carrots. We was trying to feed these rabbits. We watch Bugs Bunny all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a
Not
similar
happening.
experience.
What'd you get?
A rabbit. I mean,
Oh.
I've gotten lots of animals, but we got a rabbit one time. It was almost a full-grown rabbit, and it was, I don't know where they got it. It was wild as it could be. It just kicked you.
They don't make great
For-
pets.
For a little kid, that's not a good pet to get.
Not at all.
I just wanted to hold it down and
That's all I wanted. I
Let
just
me
wanted to
love
love
you.
that rabbit. I think I'm trying to tear you. It was bad.
That's how I feel about pigs as pets. Like every pig that anybody's ever had as a pet, they've always been super mean. Like you can't hold them. You can't, even the teacup
They're not.
pigs.
There is no such thing as a teacup pig. It's a baby
myth.
hog.
Did you ever have a pet pig, Shell? That seems
I
like something
mean-
you'd had.
Define pet.
If you're going to eat it as it gets older, it's not a pet. We don't eat our pets. So, no, you never did.
No.
Y'all had livestock that might have been little, and then you raised it and ended up at 4th of July barbecue.
Yeah.
That's a grim life. You teach your kids raising these animals. Here, I got you this.
I
And then,
think it makes you more in tune with how the
I
world
think
really
so.
works.
Yeah.
When you raise something and then watch it get slaughtered and then eat it.
You didn't feel a little
You
like
see the circle
Clarice.
of
Silence of the Lambs.
When you don't know any different, you know.
Which is normal.
Looking back, maybe I understand where the trauma comes from, but
maybe so. I never ate any of my pets. Times haven't been that bad yet.
Okay, so
moving on.
No pets for Michael's.
No
Easter
pets for Easter. That's absolute hard line.
I'm kind of like your mom, and we're not getting any pets because then I have pets.
Yeah.
So this week I cooked meatloaf for dinner.
It's good meatloaf too.
It fell apart.
Didn't have enough bread in it.
Yeah. So I researched why would a meatloaf fell apart? Because the times you've cooked meatloaf, especially when you do your smoked meatloaf,
Turn out perfect. Don't they?
they do.
Does that burn you up?
Little.
What's the difference? So
there's a couple reasons your meatloaf might fall apart. If you didn't use a leaner beef, like if it was too much fatty beef, which I just grabbed regular old
80-20.
Yeah, burger meat.
Yeah, that's all we ever used.
I only had 2 eggs for 2 pounds of meat. I probably could have used an extra egg. I used panko, which isn't as good as the breadcrumbs, and I didn't think I used enough. And one of the reasons it might fall apart is because you cook it at too high of a temp. I don't think I did that, or cooked it too long, and I know I didn't do that. But
I think you needed some just regular old white bread.
Yep.
That's what I like to put in my meatloaf, or crackers. My dad always put oatmeal, or like oats. But not like the Quaker oats, not like instant.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what they put in there.
We didn't have white bread, but we did have oatmeal. We did have some crackers too.
That'll work too.
Maybe next time.
Tastes great. I don't mind loose meatloaf.
So I've seen a lot of people on our community page asking about how to get into barbecue competitions.
How to get into it?
Yeah, they're cooking at home. Maybe they got a couple buddies that want to do a contest with them.
Yep. I would think so. Starting out, I would probably go and first identify some contests that you're interested in cooking. Go visit them. I always tell people.
How do you find contests to begin with?
I mean, some local towns have them. You can go to their local town's website if you know they have one. You can ask your buddies. We've got different sanctioning bodies in the United States. Biggest probably being KCBS. That's Kansas City Barbecue Society. They have a website with all their events listed. The next probably MBN, which is the Memphis Barbecue Network. They're mainly in the South now, kind of radiused out from Memphis. That's where you see a lot of them. We have a lot of them in the state of Mississippi. There's different events in different states. Tennessee has some, and I think Arkansas has a few, but they're spread out. Georgia, the GBA, but wherever you're at, find an organization that you don't want to cook that contest and go visit the contest.
People they have websites.
Because if you just think you're just going to sign up, and go to a contest the first time, you're probably not going to have a great experience. I'm not saying you can't, but it'd be better to do a little research. Figure out who's there, what the event is, what they're cooking. Maybe sign up to go judge. I always like to say take a judging class and go judge an event first so you can kind of get an idea of what target you're trying to hit. But if you're just doing it for fun, hey, load all the stuff up in pickup truck and go jump in. But I'm thinking from like being successful, what it would take to go out and have a good shot. There's classes out there you can take. We learned a lot taking classes, and I still, if I get a chance to take a barbecue class, I still jump on it because there's always something you can pick up. But from watching videos, joining different Facebook groups, asking questions, you've got all kinds of resources if you're wanting to get into competition barbecue that people will be glad to offer you some advice. So that's a big help too. Of course, you got to get a grill. You got to have some supplies. You got to do some practice. Always practice before you go cook a contest. If you got a bunch of buddies, I bet you got more drinkers than you do cookers. That's just how it goes. So you need to figure out who's going to be the serious cooks and let people know what they're going to be in charge of and make a list. There's a whole lot of stuff to be done before you just jump in and say you're going to go cook a contest.
You can't just jump up and go find one.
Yeah, you can. You can go join Hogs for the Cause this weekend. They probably still let you in. Be glad to take your money.
That one's a little more of a undertaking.
I mean, there's a great one close to us up in Atoka, Tennessee this weekend. There's going to be 65 teams up there.
Is it KCBS?
No, it's MBN.
Okay.
But
with MBN, you can get into a backyard. Do they still do the backyard?
I don't know about that one. Some of them do, like Springfest. South Haven has a huge backyard contest.
And they,
so that's
just
great.
go cook ribs.
I mean, just starting out, I started out in the backyard category. That's where I would start to get your feet wet, see if you like it before you commit to all this other, they're not cheap. It is not cheap to go out and cook a contest on a weekend. I hadn't done one in a while, but I mean, regular average contest, I bet you at least you're going to be $500-$600 in now, maybe more. Depending on how much meat you have to buy, but the entry fees alone are high dollar now. You're going to spend $300 to get in one, $350 maybe. So that's just you didn't even bought anything then. Then you got to get there and you got to buy all the meat and all the supplies and all the seasoning. So you better budget $1,000. Get you a beer sponsor.
Do you think you could do just a like a rib contest, a rib shootout, or a backyard local contest for a couple $100? Oh
yeah, if you could find like a local, that's another great one too. Local contest like Water Tower. We have a great one here in Hernando that we've helped out with for the past few years, and they're not expensive contests. If you can find one like that, that's a great one to start out at. And a lot of little towns have contests. A lot of you see some churches have contests. There's different organizations have little small contests. Those are all great. Those are fun. That's when cooking's fun to me.
And those can be harder to find too. Because
there's no
like a centralized place.
Yeah, there's no place. You're gonna have to. That's word of mouth. You're probably someone told you about it or something. If you're just looking for a contest like that, you're gonna have to go on different Facebook groups and post and see if anybody's got some ideas or they're out there.
SCA is a good one too. It's not a barbecue contest, but
those are great. That's a great cooking contest to get your feet wet on learning how a contest rolls. It's cooking steaks, but they have different ancillary contests and stuff. Sometimes they pair them with the barbecue element.
Yeah. But just get out there and get to cooking.
That's about, yeah. Practice first. That's the number one thing, practice.
You always say to practice, create your timeline, find out what your turn-in times is, create your timeline, and practice along that timeline.
Just like you're there.
Yeah.
Taking all your stuff out there that you're going to need. Don't run back and forth into the house and stuff because the house ain't going to be there. You've got to bring everything with you that you need and make notes. That's all important part of it.
Yeah, but if you're cooking, if you got to cook, start your fire at 6 a.m., you got to start your fire at 6 a.m.
Yeah, work that exact timeline. I was telling Mikey earlier, he come in my office telling me he was going to go help someone cook at Springfest coming up because we're all out of town. He's going to cook ribs and he's going to practice this weekend. I said, well, you got to do it the real way. You can't just go out, cook at the house. You've got to drink as much as you think you're going to drink at Springfest. You got to, take all your stuff out there. It can't, if you're going to do a true practice, you've got to try to duplicate what it's going to be like on those contest days.
Have a bunch of your buddies stop by.
Just have people constantly come by and get you away and just distract you and all that stuff that goes with it. That's true practice.
That's all I have for today, Mal.
Is it? Well, do we have any questions or anything we need to answer, or we just do those?
That was.
I didn't get my shell fact today.
Well, I was trying to give you that with the meatloaf.
Oh, that was the shell's corner.
Yeah.
What it takes to make your meatloaf stick together,
or reasons that your meatloaf might fall apart.
All right.
Yeah,
that's a good tip.
I thought so.
Yeah.
If you have problems with crumbly meatloaf, you don't. It wasn't useful to you.
No, it's very useful.
Your meatloaf comes out perfect every time.
Not
even
every
when you
time.
do the little bitty ones, they come out.
I do like mini meatloaves. It's all in the ratio. You got to get your bread ratio right.
How do you know when you put your fingers in the meatloaf? Like, do you know? Can you tell then?
Yeah. You've got to have it. It's got to be bready enough to where it's almost like it doesn't look like ground beef. If your meatloaf still looks like some seasoned up ground beef when you got it mixed up, it don't have the right ratio of bread to it.
Yeah.
And the egg, so it'll take on a different look.
Mine had a different look.
Did it? Well, I don't know. Maybe
it still tasted good, right?
Yeah, it tasted great. It tasted real good.
It just, I needed
do you
more
like
breading.
Do you like it meatloaf cooked in a pan Or do you like it free form? Because see, a lot of times I'll form mine and cook it on a little raised rack to where that grease gets away from it. Because like did notice when I got yours out of the pan and it's got 2 inches of grease still in the pan, that's telling me it was probably, real fatty ground beef, and maybe that's what attributed to it falling apart more.
That's a good tip. So you were talking about forming it, putting it on a raised rack, cooking it on the raised rack on a sheet pan.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Even if I'm cooking it in the oven, most of the time I'm throwing it on the pit, and I do that because it doesn't get as much smoke or as much flavor from the grill inside a loaf pan. But a free form meatloaf can get smoke all the way around it. You get a little smoke ring, you cook it that way. You can glaze more of it.
Yeah, you can glaze
more of it. It looks better. So.
Yeah, because even when you're in a pan, and even if you were to pull it out all as one big meatloaf, which is what you tried to do, you were like, I'm going to pull this out and slice it for you. I was like, go for it.
You can do it. You set me up on that one.
I didn't know.
The thing there, so if you cook one in a pan, like a loaf pan like that, I don't like to glaze just the top of it.
Yeah,
the ketchup
that's all I
sauce. I like to take it when you know it's done before you glaze it, flip that dude out of that pan, and then put it back on a pan, raised rack or something, glaze the outside, and stick it back in the oven so you can glaze it that way. Then it's out of the pan. My mom used to do it in like a bundt pan. She would make these round meatloafs in her bundt cake pan, and then she would turn them out and then glaze them, and then of course the center ring always got like stuffed with mashed potatoes.
Really?
That's
pretty cool.
And my dad makes a better meatloaf than that. So he's the man. We got a lot of meatloaf growing up. It's good poor man's food. Makes meatloaf sandwiches the next day.
Yeah.
Who's not? Y'all not fans of meatloaf?
I don't think I've ever just I don't know how, but I've just never had meatloaf like that. Really.
Yeah. What you think about the Bad Out of Hell album? I liked him too. I liked it so much. It's one of my favorite artists.
I like Sloppy Joe's. I don't know if that's
totally different
now.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with Sloppy Joe's.
I'm down with Sloppy Joe's too. We're gonna have to.
We need to do a lunch up at the Sloppy Joe restaurant up 51.
Yeah.
You better have some serious Sloppy Joe's if you're basing your whole restaurant around it.
I've heard it's good. I've not been there.
Exactly. Hey man, you want to go grab some Sloppy Joe's? Just
They have more than Sloppy Joe's on the menu. I think that's just kind of the name of the restaurant. I'm sure they do have Sloppy Joe on the menu, but it's not like 100 different varieties of Sloppy Joe, which is not a bad idea.
You can have the nacho Sloppy Joe.
The queso Joe.
The pizza Joe.
So you've got a whole business lined up for them. And it's all just like loose meat that you add a sauce to real quick and top.
Kind of like Taco Bell's model.
Same ingredients, different ways.
Yeah.
So Tyler, what's going on in the community, man?
Well, we've ended our giveaway. I do believe we have one on the horizon. It's going to be kind of like a spring cleaning-ish one, but no official dates for that yet. But make sure you guys get there. Go to Facebook.com, look up the Let's Get to Cooking community page. It's also Facebook.com/H2Q community. And you can join it, share recipes, ask questions. Your questions may be featured on next week's episode. And if you guys want to check out all of Malcolm's favorite recipes, make sure you download the HowToBBQRight app on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store.
Shell, where can they find us?
If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course YouTube.
And you on just Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram.
Are you boycotting? Are you still boycotting Instagram? Can't find her on there no more.
I haven't shut it down, but
okay. So real quickly, what are you most looking forward to this weekend, Shell?
No kids and pets.
No.
Brunch.
Brunch Sunday in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Steak dinner.
I'm thinking some raw oysters.
Ooh, oysters.
Oysters. That's what I'm most looking forward to. And some blue plate, of course. No, if y'all are out in New Orleans this weekend, look us up Friday. We'll probably be around where we see the blue plate stuff. So
yeah,
be there hanging out, and let's get out of here, Shell. Time to pack.
Yeah, it's time to go.
We'll see y'all next time. We gone.